Fortnite have just announced that the next Pro-Am is happening soon. Now, the last edition was in NA, so we can only assume that this one's going to be in Europe. So in preparation, I have built the perfect Pro-Am lineup. I've taken 20 pros, 20 content creators, and some of the picks towards the end of the video get a little bit crazy. Now, this all happened live on stream, and if you want to be a part of videos like this in the future, then twitch.tv/SpudsOn is the place to go. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so this is the short list of the pros that we've come up with, and now we've got to narrow this down into 20 players, which is going to be pretty tough. I feel like we've got to have Mr. Savage and Shark. I think everyone's in agreement with that. In terms of Savage, he's the one bringing the content, he's the one bringing a massive audience, and then Shark is like the brightest spark in European Fortnite right now, so we can't not have him. I definitely have Mongrel as well, especially since I'm envisioning this as a LAN in London, so we've got to have Mongrel representing the UK. Now, the plan here is to have at least one player from every like major language group in EU, so we need someone from France. I think we'll have a Kira purely because he's signed to Gentlemates, so it does make a lot of sense. Although Karama's a good shout too. Tough to decide between the two, actually. Ideally, I'd have them both, but we can kind of only fit one. I want an Italian player, so we've got to go for Rax. I feel like Rax is the brightest prospect in Italian Fortnite, so it makes a lot of sense to have him. If we're talking Poland, we've got to go with Cami as well. Seti maybe could make his way onto this list, but I feel like his placements have been a bit lacking and there's so many names to include. So I don't know if we're going to be able to include him in all honesty. I definitely want Vico and Malabuka. Vico obviously a German-speaking player. Malabuka a Russian-speaking player, so we're covering a lot of bases by having those two in the tournament. And if we're talking German-speaking, I think it's best to have Reason as well. Massive audience, super entertaining. Played at the Pro-Am in 2025, so he'd know what to do. I feel like you can partner him up with anyone and he'd be good value. I feel like the deal is would also do really well here, but I don't want to have too many players from the same country, so he might miss out purely based on that. We'll see though. I want to have a Spanish player. I feel like this is a really tough one. You could have like Gordetti, Nako. I think it's got to be one of Sayaz or Scary Sean. I feel like Sayaz streams more, so I'm going to take Sayaz in this Pro-Am. I feel like that's a fair shout. And if we're talking about language groups, I want to include Hottie as well, purely because he accesses the Czech audience. That's a complete another community that we're getting access to in this tournament, so bang, Hottie is included. The question is here though, do we have both Sky and Scroll? I mean, they're the FNCS champions. I feel like we have to have them. I feel like people are going to be desperate to see how they do in this kind of a tournament, especially since they weren't at the last one. So a lot of mystery, a lot of interest. I do think that the nature of Fortnite, there's a lot of Danish players that are really good. I mean, you've got Thomas HD as well, Marius, Chino, Pablo, Fridoxy as well. I mean, like, we're going to end up with a lot of Danes in this Pro-Am, whether we like it or not. And I think I do like it. Scroll streaming often too. Yeah, Scroll and Sky have been streaming a little bit more, especially since winning Grands. So maybe they deserve the opportunity. I think we need a Balkans player, chat. I'm not going to be picking Queasy or Veno for that matter, purely because they were at the NA Pro-Am, so I feel like they've had their opportunity. Tayson's an option. Trudex is an option. I want to take Teeny. Second place in FNCS. I feel like he'd be super funny to watch in this tournament. He'd be setting up lurks with his content creator. I don't know if he'd be like the most charismatic guy at the tournament, but I feel like in terms of quality, you can't really look past him. Thomas HD, we've got to have Thomas HD involved. We would be crazy to have any kind of Pro-Am tournament that did not include the sniper goat himself. He was at the Pro-Am in 2025 as well. I feel like he deserves another shot. Okay, chat, so we've still got a fairly large shortlist here, and we've only got 5 more spots, which is concerning me a bit. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just gonna be picking based on vibes from here on out. If the player doesn't get included, if you think they should be, then fair enough, because this is super tough, but I just want to pick people that I think are going to make this a really entertaining tournament, which is why I'm going to be taking Velo in my Pro-Am. Now, as I said, I do envision this being a LAN in London, so it makes sense to have another UK player, and Velo is someone that's like really underrated as an entertainer. I feel like his streams are always super fun. Like he's made a name for himself as a character over the past few months, and I feel like you can put him alongside anyone, he'd be kind of funny in this tournament. The question is, how many more nationalities do we want to cover here? Because we could get a Greek player, we could have Ghost, we could get Kiro to cover the Netherlands. Maybe do we need another Polish player? Do we take Seti? Do we take Yapko? Even Hari, who I haven't even got on the list. There's so many choices. Focus, I do like Focus as an option. I think purely because Focus is like one of the greatest players on EU right now. Like his quality is so high, I will take him in this Pro-Am. Pixie, I think Pixie's a nice shout as well, tapping into the Swedish market. I know we've got so many nationalities to cover. I know there's so many top pros here, the likes of Swizzy, Chino, Pablo, Vanya as well. But if we're picking off vibes, I want Pradaj at my Pro-Am. Pradaj is so entertaining. He is so funny. And I feel like he'd also just like probably win this tournament. He's really good at these kind of like Creator X Pros events. I can see the vision with Pradaj, I'll be honest. Pixie X Luia. Is Luia Swedish or is she Swedish? Where's Luia from? She is Swedish, okay. I kind of like that. Do you know what? Then we'll have Pixie. I feel like Pixie's got the ability as well to feature in a Pro-Am like this. Well then, chat, we've only got one spot left. And I mean, look at the names we still have to include. Fridoxy, Vidil, Pink, Vanya, Taste. I mean, like, this is insane. We can only have one of these players. Only one. I feel like with the names we've picked right now, we've got a lot of players that are known in 2026, but maybe wouldn't be known by an audience that were watching in chapters 1 or 2. And like, you kind of want to have a few like old school people in there, just so like the people that don't necessarily keep up with Fortnite competitive can still enjoy the Pro-Am. So I want to pick some people that were around back in the day. I think Vidil's an option. Pink, Tayson. I really want to pick Tayson. Multiple time FNCS winner. Chat, I'll be real, I think we have to put Tayson in. I know his placements haven't been crazy lately. I know he's not been doing well in the tournaments, but multiple time FNCS champion, an absolute legend of Chapter 2 Fortnite. People are going to want to see him. I don't feel bad about not including Fridoxy because we already have 3 Danish players. I don't feel bad about Vidil because we already have Reason and Vico. I wouldn't mind putting Ghost in, but I don't think I'd take anyone out for him. That's the issue. Chat, I'm going to be honest. This is the list. We're going with that. So now we've got to think about content creators, and I've got a bit of a niche shout here. I don't know if it is niche actually, and I don't know if he's necessarily even a content creator. But we are going to put Benji Fishy with Mr. Savage. Now, obviously, Benji was a pro back in the sort of Chapter 2 OG kind of time of Fortnite, and he was one of the best players in the game. He's still really good at Fortnite, I'll be honest. He's still way too good to be considered as a content creator, but we're putting him in anyway. I feel like Benji was just such like a fun character to have in the Fortnite scene. Like, he was genuinely one of my favorite people to watch. Like, his vibes were always great. He was really positive. And Mr. Savage and Benji is obviously such a legendary team. Of course, they went to the Fortnite World Cup together, and to get them back together in the form of the EU Pro-Am would be really fun. Now that Benji isn't quite at pro level, now that he is a little bit behind mechanically, I feel like it'd be super fun. There's 2 options for Shark here. Do we put him with Coach Boop or do we put him with Reddish? I'll be honest, I'm putting him with Reddish. I think we're getting the full Romanian connection here. Now, Reddish is someone that was at the last Pro-Am. She played with Veno, and I think she was good value for content as well. She's always pretty entertaining, has done a lot for the EU scene. Chat, if you don't know, Reddish is the reason that Fridoxy is unbanned on Twitch. Potentially she has that to answer for. Maybe we shouldn't be including her based on that, but shout out Reddish, man. I think she's got to be involved to get the Romanian connection. Green chemistry link there. Actually, it would be Boop or Vico. Wasn't quite the plan I had in mind. I'm actually going to be putting Boop with Focus. I think they have a really good connection. They seem like they've got a good vibe together on stream. I actually think that is one of the stronger duos that we're going to have though, because Boop does understand how to play the game. Boop is very solid, and Focus is one of the best individual players on this whole list. So you know what it is? They'd be one of the best for content, and they'd probably be one of the best to win it as well. Now, chat, I want to have Mike involved here. The question is, which Italian player do we put him with? I think it's going to be Rax, purely because Pradaj is such a leader type. I feel like he could take anyone and do well with them. So I think we'll put Mike with Rax. That's going to be our full Italian duos. I want to have Motor in. I think Mongrel and Motor makes sense. I think we just have to go with that, to be honest. Motor's super entertaining. Motor's been around for so long. Absolute staple of the EU scene. I'm going to have him involved. Yeah, I think if we're going with Cami, if we're going Poland, we've got to have Kulnek involved. Biggest Polish streamer right now. I know Jacob went to the last Pro-Am, but I feel like Kulnek has kind of overtook him, so we're going to get that duo involved. I mean, this duo is, again, really good. There's so many stacked teams here. Akira, Nikov or Leo? Yeah, let's do the French players. So, firstly, I don't like the fact that we only have one French player in this list. I would honestly want another one. Nikov, Leo the Crack. I want both Nikov and Leo the Crack involved, I'll be honest. I'm going to put Akira with Nikov. I think we'll get the M8 Green Link connection there. So maybe we put Leo with one of the players that kind of doesn't necessarily have a natural match. I know Leo the Crack played with Chicho for the Abu Dhabi Zero Build LAN. We haven't got Chicho here, so I can't put him with him for that. Maybe we put him with Teeny. That might be too broken a team. Do you know what, chat? I am going to do that. I'm going to put Leo the Crack with Teeny. I think it's a fun duo. It's not necessarily a green link with the nationalities, but some of these duos are going to have to be a bit random, and I feel like that would be pretty entertaining. Okay, I think we've got to have Amar. I think Reason and Amar is the natural team here. That makes so much sense. Like German green link chemistry, loads of experience playing together, always good for content. Reason and Amar is again another duo that could do really well, but even if they don't perform, then they're going to be bringing the vibes big time. So who else? What other EU people were at this? So anyone else that I need to be including? Allier. Oh chat, we've got to have Allier. We've got to have Allier. I've just had the greatest vision. Velo is playing with Allier. That would be the funniest content duo ever. That would be hilarious. I think I've just cooked. I think I've just cooked up potentially the greatest duo in Pro-Am history. Velo crashing on Allier would be so funny. That would be hilarious. Oh, Reese Hub, yeah, that was it. Yeah, we got to have Reese Hub involved. He played I think it was a Twitch Rivals tournament with Vico in the past. So they have actually got some experience. But do I want to put him with Vico? Are there any other German people or German-speaking people that we should put with Vico instead, maybe? Do you know what? I'll put him with Sky, purely because the other day when we were on the Nothing But Fortnite podcast, which you should go and check out if you don't already watch, Reese actually named Sky as the best player in the world, which I disagreed with at the time. I said Peterbot. I now agree with that. I do think that Sky is better after his FNCS win, but for Reese Hub's loyal support towards Sky here, he gets to play with him at the Pro-Am as a reward. Gripey is a great shout. Yeah, we need Gripey involved in this. Does Vico get on with Gripey, chat? What are the vibes there? I'm gonna put Vico with Gripey. I assume they get on. I'd be surprised if they didn't. Chat, I'll be honest, do we put Gref in? I feel like I want a couple of non-Fortnite people in this tournament just to make it a bit more interesting. Like, obviously, if we take a look at the Pro-Am Creator Series lineup, the key thing you'll notice is that there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily connected to Fortnite. Like, there were a lot of IRL streamers in this tournament, the likes of Paige, Raw Dog Moon, Guapo, Yugi. Like, there were a lot of people that aren't necessarily heavily linked to Fortnite, which makes me think that for this kind of Pro-Am, we should probably pick some people that are outside of the game as well. KSI, I don't know if we can aim that big. I want to keep it realistic, but someone that I do want to have is Angry Ginge, because he is super good value. He is super entertaining. I feel like his like kind of shouty, like raw feel like to how he is would be really good in this kind of tournament. Chat, who do you think Angry Ginge would fit with out of all the people we've got here? Like, it kind of needs to be someone that can take the banter and like actually like make content out of it, rather than someone that isn't just going to be really quiet. So I feel like it's got to be someone with a decent personality here. We've got to put in with someone that's a bit mature, someone that's got a bit of a personality. I'm gonna put him with Malibu. Oh, what have I just done there, chat? I've just opened Divisional Cup notes from the 9th of May. Little insight into my video notes there. So we'll put Malibu with Angry Ginge. So that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 content creators / celebrities to pick. We didn't put Sires with Gref. I kind of forgot to write that down. Let's put Sires with Gref. I think that's an interesting shout. Sorry to sue her. Loea Pixie is a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. A couple of you have said that. The Swedish connection, we will be doing that. I kind of want to pick some more UK people. Maybe we pick one of the Sidemen. I know Miniminter plays a lot of Fortnite. Vicstar does as well. Those are the two that actually play it. You know what? Vicstar has more pedigree of Fortnite. He was playing back during the Friday Fortnite era, so I feel like he deserves a bit of a reward. Who do we put him with, though? I feel like I put him with Thomas. I feel like that. I've just got a feeling that would be like a really funny duo. I don't know why. I just feel like that would be fun. Deji would be so funny. Oh, Deji would be so funny. Oh, chat, do we just put Deji with Tayson for like the absolutely zero compatibility, zero vibes? That would be so funny. I'm doing that. Maybe put Pink in over Hottie and put Pink with someone from the UK. Do we remove Hottie, chat? I wanted to access the Czech market, but like, if he's not with a Czech player, is there even any point in that? Do you know what I mean? Like if he's not even going to be speaking Czech, I feel like that kind of loses its purpose. Chat, maybe do you know what it is? I am going to do that. I'm gonna remove Hottie. I don't know if I'm going to put Pink in though, because we've got a lot of UK players. I'm feeling Vanya, you know. Maybe Vanya, maybe Vidal, maybe Swizzy. I mean, Swizzy's really good. Swizzy and Atom. Chat, I don't know much about Atom. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like the biggest Atom knower. So this is Atom, right, chat? The dude in the Aurora vids. I don't know. I don't know. I like that though. I like the idea of him and Swizzy. That's a really nice idea. Atom's average is 2.3. What? Does he? How out of the loop am I, chat? That I didn't know this. I'll be honest, I'm incredibly out of the loop. Okay, great suggestion from Luca in the chat for Swizzy and Atom. We are gonna go with that. Initially, I wasn't sure, but I've just realized that Atom is significantly bigger than I realized, so I do think he'd bring a nice bit of viewership. Little Russia x Azerbaijan Azerbaijan connection there. It's kind of cool. I've not been sure on this the whole time, but I think I am just going to do it. I'm going to put Edgy in. I hope I'm saying that name right, chat. I did ask him in stream the other day and I forgot what he said. I think he just said to call him E or something, but I'm going to put him in. This guy is probably the biggest Danish creator. He's very well connected with Sky and Scroll as well. I think he manages them. So this is probably, out of all the duos, has the best chemistry, maybe except for Benji and Savage. But yeah, we'll get him in. This leaves one final spot. And I've left Pradaj till last deliberately, purely because I feel like he could fit with absolutely anyone. He is a leader type. He is someone that can guide an inexperienced player through the end game. So we can really pick whoever we want here. How many? I mean, we've only got like 2 girls in this. So we only got Reddish and Loia. You know, the ratios are a bit off here. Leo should play with Pradaj. There's too much firepower with Teeny. I actually think Leo would do better with Pradaj though, because he's such a good leader for like these kind of creator tournaments. I feel like that duo would be way too broken. Bella, that is a great shout. That is an excellent shout. That is exactly the type of person I was looking for. Pradaj and Bella, that's a nice team as well. That's the team that could do really well. I mean, that is our 20 duos. What would we change, chat? Who would we take out? Who would we bring in? Are there any alterations you'd make? Because I mean, we can still make changes. Velo and Angry Ginge. God, that would be so funny. That would be so funny. Maybe Jalistia in there somewhere for more female representation. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. I just don't know where I'd include her, to be honest. Hextro. Alba. Oh, Alba's such a good shout. Alba's a really good shout, actually. I'll tell you what, the only reason I'm not going to put Alba in is because we've already got 3 Italians at this Pro-Am, and I don't want to make it too heavy on one nation. Chat, do you know what I've just thought? For the content, we'll do like 5 reserve teams in case anyone like pulls out or something like that, and then we can include some of the people you're talking about, because I do want to. It's mental that some of these people aren't that can't be involved. So I think Vidil I want, and we'll put Vidil with Jalistria, and that's the German connection. I think we've got to have another French player. We've got to have Karama. Chat, would Karama play with Waz, or is that like the Gentlemates Havoc? It's like the Gentlemates Havoc link up, like a red chemistry link. Karama and Revenger, Solari, yeah, I like that. Alright, we'll have Karama and Revenger as one of the reserve duos. Seeing as this would be a LAN in London, we've got to have some UK reserves, which means Pink gets the call up. I'm actually going to put Pink and Danny Aarons. I actually think I think they know each other. I think I saw a clip of Danny Aarons being quite incredulous that Pink had a Fortnite coach, and then Pink pointed out that Danny Aarons had a FIFA coach, which is kind of funny. They played recently. They did play recently. Yeah, I think that's a fun team. 4th up, we can have Albo now. We can get Alba in the reserves. I'm gonna put Hottie back in the reserves because I still want him sort of like somewhat involved. I just don't think he's probably a top 20-esque team. Vanya, oh, Vanya's a good shout. Vanya's a really good shout. We got Swizzy. We've got Malibuka. We've got like the Russian-speaking people already. I'll be real. I haven't got the EU IRL streamer ball knowledge, so I'm gonna need you guys in the comment section to let me know who I was missing, because I feel like there's some big names here that potentially I'm just simply not aware of. Because like the people in the NA Pro-Am, the likes of like Braden, Raw Dog Moon, Yuyi, Yusuf, like I didn't know any of those guys before the tournament, but I know them all now, and they were all super entertaining. So there's definitely a lot of underrated people that deserve spots, but I just simply don't know about them. I mean, this is the thing we've got to remember, chat, is that the US Pro-Am did have Veno and Queasy. It did have 2 European players. So by the same logic, potentially the EU Pro-Am should have some players from another region. Now, Middle East is our closest region. We don't even know if they're going to get their own Pro-Am. I think I'll put Bota in. We'll put him with Hottie. We'll put Bota with Hottie. It's a bit of a random team, but why not? Chapun, Gataga. There's so many options for French players, like Jolavanil, Gataga, Waz as well. I can't fit them all in, I'm afraid. And Chap, I'd love to have Chap. Kemby. Oh, Moneymaker's such a good shout. How did I forget Moneymaker, chat? How did I forget Moneymaker? I'm going to be so honest with you. I love Pixie. Pixie's an unbelievable player. One of, like, my player of 2025. I rate him so highly. Moneymaker comes in instead of him because Moneymaker, as a content creator, is so funny. The flopper himself. Like, think how many, like, iconic things he's done. Like, the popular meme, like his cash cups where he used to just be singing when he was stuck in boxes. Money would play with Bella. Ooh, good point. Great point, actually. You are kind of right. Maybe I do put Moneymaker with Bella. Okay, chat, here's what I'm thinking. We reinstate Pixie. We put Moneymaker with Girly Bella. We drop Swizzy and Atom to the bench. We remove Hottie. We put Bota with Alba. And we put Pradaj with someone else. Kind of need a Russian CIS team. Yeah, you're right, Maxi. I know. I mean, we have Malibuka, but it's not like a full... Yeah, I hear that. Maybe we put Atom with Malabuka. I don't want Angry Ginger Pradage. I don't think that's an optimal team. No, maybe Angry Ginger does work with Pradage actually, because they're both like older. They're both mature. They both have good like kind of banter. They're not gonna like go quiet. I feel like that actually could work better than I kind of initially thought. And then Swizzy on the bench, we can just put with anyone really. Should put him with Gataga, but obviously Swizzy was on M8. Gataga's involved with M8. I mean, there's a mild bit of chemistry there. Velo and Angry Ginge, that would be funny, wouldn't it? I feel like Angry Ginge would like play into the jokes as well. If he found out about the Velo files, I feel like he'd just jump on that and like make it funny. So maybe I will do that. I know I'm flip-flopping, chat, but like this is so difficult. Maybe we do put Pradage with Allier. I mean, I've said it a couple of times in this video. Pradage is the type of IGL that can lead anyone through an endgame. He's so easy to follow. He guides these players through. He's done well in Twitch Rivals. He's literally won one in the past because of that. So maybe the ultimate test of his IGLing ability is to put him with Allier for the Pro-Am, because if he can get Allier into a Fortnite endgame, then what can't he do? He'd be unstoppable. Chat, maybe. What do you guys think about putting Leo the Crack with Tayson and then Teeny with Deji? Because that might balance the teams out a little bit better. Because then I feel like Teeny and Deji is like a similar dynamic where Teeny just like would be like so like locked in and like focused on the game and just like wouldn't be like wouldn't be engaging with Deji and like he wouldn't be doing jokes. Chat, I think we'll do that. I think Tayson and Leo the Crack is a more balanced team because Leo is obviously significantly better than Deji. I think I'm happy with that. I think that is our Pro-Am. That is the 20 duos that will be going to the EU Pro-Am if I was in charge.